scorer, and he's been out of the water for 2 weeks with a bad back. He may play a little tonight, but he's not at 100%, and he hasn't played at all for 2 weeks. Frank Schneider got back in the water after a week being out. He got back in last night, and he played very well. He scored a goal, had several assists, so we're counting on Frank tonight, but I don't know about Wolf.
Super. Thanks, and good luck, Coach.
So as you can tell, both coaches are very excited about this event tonight and somewhat nervous. When we come back, we'll have the opening sprint of the 1992 NCAA Water Polo Finals from Belmont Plaza. We'll have that right after this. Belmont Plaza in the city of Long Beach, California. Stanford taking on the California Golden Bears, and we should have a great contest, one that might go down to the wire, believe it or not. We'll see what happens at the end of regulation time, but right now, we'll go to the starting lineups. And Chris, maybe you can comment on some of these guys as you're taking a look at them.
For Stanford in the goal, number 1, Larry Burkett. In the field, Matarangas, Blankenhorn, Leachman, the freshman, is going to start. Number 9, Chris Wallen. Number 12, a senior, Chris Smith. And 15, Michael Famers, is not going to start for the Stanford Cardinal. It'll be number 6, Antonio Busquets. For California, you see Nolan in the goal, Oding, Barnes, Weldon, Barnhart, Arroyo, and Dirk Zien, number 10, the big guy.
Tell me about Dirk Zien. We kind of alluded to the fact about him, Craig. He's a great water polo player.
Well, you know, Dirk is the kind of guy you go to in the clutch. And I think that his having played international water polo for the country of Germany is going to be a tremendous advantage for him. He's a very smart player. He's the biggest guy out there. And I really think he's going to be a factor for Cal.
And as you can tell, they use the Mikasa ball, and it seems like these guys get a pretty good grip on the ball. Is it a ball that you can really hold on to pretty well? It slips out of your hands, or is there something on there as we take a look at some of the water polo facts? You know, the 1992 record, 30-0 for California, won 6 of the last 9 NCAA finals, and Cal has beaten Stanford 12 consecutive times. Pretty incredible record. And Stanford, the water polo facts, 22-5 on the year. Cardinals have won 6 national championships. An interesting thing here, last team to go undefeated, they went undefeated in 1986 at 36-0.
Well, since 1986, Cal and Stanford have played 22 times. Cal has won 20 times out of that. So it's going to be real tough for Stanford to turn the tide because Cal's just got all the size and all the experience in this contest.
Well, we're just about getting ready to start. Stanford taking on the Golden Bears. We'll be back with that right after this.
First time.
Taking on Stanford, Cal is in the blue caps, and Stanford is in the white caps. Chris Doris and Craig Wilson joining me. I'm Paul Higgins, and we'll get underway with the play-by-play with Chris. Chris, take it away.
Well, Cal just had the ball stolen out of 2 meters for him. There's Larry Burkett with the ball. Stanford on a counterattack. They're looking a little hesitant in their set offense, but they're setting right now. That's number 5, Chip Blankenhorn, the senior. Dante's looking for a lot from him. He's a leader. He's a team captain, and he's got his man turned at 2 meters. But I guess the referee saw the foul a little bit earlier.
How important is it to get on the board first in this contest?
It's real important. Stanford has a 6-on-5, actually. It looked like Blankenhorn drew that 6-on-5. And a pass inside off the top bar, but there's number 9, Wallen, with the rebound and in for Stanford.
Well, I'll tell you, Chris, that was an awful nice goal by Stanford, but they're going to have to really be able to score some shots from the outside. They can't expect to have those rebounds go in and win the tournament this way.
Well, a lot of times, Craig, I've always said I'd much rather be lucky than good. Stanford being lucky there, opening up a 1-0 lead.
1-0 Stanford, and they get on the board first. We were just talking about that, but Cal's the type of team that can come right back.
I think Cal, excuse me, Chris, I think Cal's going to come out very strong. They seem to be a little bit more relaxed than Stanford in the opening ceremonies, and I really think that Cal's going to set the
Cal
pace
at 2
here.
meters. That's number 6, Troy Barnhart, just turning his man and slipping the ball in the low right corner of the cage. What a great individual move by Barnhart to tie the score at 1.
And he turned to his left, Chris, and just powered it by the near side. I don't think that Burkett really had a chance there. He threw it so hard.
1-1 the score in the first quarter. And these two teams playing some good water polo. Again, Stanford in the white and Cal in the blue. This is the NCAA Water Polo Finals for 1992.
That's Smith at 2 meters for Stanford. He's got a driver. Ball goes back to Smith. He's in front of the cage, but it's knocked down nicely by Nolan. A little flurry there. Cal looks like they've got a counterattack here. There are a couple of free people on the far side of the pool. Let's see if they can get the ball to him. Ball's down there. Zien with the ball. Zien's got him in a lane. Zien driving. Picking the ball up and shooting. Knocked down by Burkett.
He tried the look-away shot, Chris. He was looking out the stands and tried to blow it by Burkett's head. It didn't go.
Looked like Burkett had seen that before. Stanford with a 3-on-2. There's a free man on the far side. Here comes the pass. That's Chris Wallen in front of the cage and blocked by Nolan. Nolan with his hands up. A tremendous block that time.
He came up strong, Chris. He was in the right position and basically took away the shot that he should have.
Well, and Wallen had swum the whole way. It looked like he was a little on the tired side. Didn't have as much authority on the shot as he might have wanted, but still a great move by Nolan.
These guys are in top shape, and you know, he did look a little tired, but I'll bet you he'll come back hard the next quarter.
Both of you guys being ex-goalies and goalies actually right now. Craig, we're not sure what's going to happen with you. How important is it for the goalie to set the pace of the game? Can he do that?
Well, a goalie can control the momentum of the game, and it looks like Nolan has started off very well. Again, the first goal Stanford scored was off of a rebound.
Oh, and a great individual move inside by Zian, but the rebound was picked up by number 7, Gavin Arroyo. Berkeley with the ball.
Berkeley's getting a lot of great shots, Chris.
Zian had a super power move inside. He had a couple people hanging on him and was just able to spin around and get a great shot off. Went off the top bar, but they also got the rebound. Now it looks like they have a 6-on-5 and ejection on a Stanford player. Berkeley can see what they do with their extra man offense.
Score 1-1.
And it looks like Stanford is dropping off the left-handed post player.
Yeah, they're going to get a shot there, Chris.
Yeah, with the two people on top, it's Oding and Zian, and a great shot from the outside by Oding goes in.
What a shot. Those are almost impossible to block. It went in, hit the bar in the goal, and went in. We call those bar ins, and they are tough.
2-1 Cal. They have the edge here in the first quarter. If you've just joined us, this is the NCAA Water Polo Finals. We're in Belmont Plaza. Cal taking on Stanford. Cal comes into this game undefeated at 30-0, looking to go 31-0.
Cal with a very tough 6-on-5 anytime you play them, because their two best shooters, Zian and Oding, are the men on top. They're always going to have a nice shot at the end of the time. It's 2-1 Cal over Stanford here, and Dante Damani has called timeout.
As a college sports fan, you read and hear about the
Water Polo Finals. The score, California 2, Stanford 1. And that's a pretty good score to start this game off. Of course, Stanford got on the board first, and Cal has come back and scored twice. What do you think the coach of Cal is telling his players right now?
Well, I just think he's telling them, you know, to keep the game plan. Don't try anything different. We've beaten these guys a lot in the past. Let's just stay with our game plan and continue on.
Absolutely. Berkeley, both Berkeley and Stanford, a little tentative in the spots, but they're countering very nicely. They're running exactly what they want to run in terms of offensive and defensive sets. So I think both coaches are saying, okay, great. The game's going. Settle down. Let's just do what we need to do.
And Cal has beaten Stanford 12 consecutive times. It's kind of a big stat right there, especially you being an ex-Stanford guy, Chris.
Hey, I'll tell you, that stat means nothing right now. The game could go either way. Berkeley's definitely got the edge in size and in experience, but when it comes down to a one-game series, anything can happen.
Stanford's got a lot of heart, Chris, and you know, I think this game, you know, even if one team gets a lead, I think it's going to come down to be very close.
And you can see the ball being dropped in the middle of the pool, controlled by Stanford.
Stanford setting up their offense. They get it down inside. The foul, it's Frank Schneider setting 2 meters. He's a strong sophomore, but an overpass. Again, Frank showing a little of the jitters there, an overpass stolen by the Bears. The Bears have a counterattack. Looks like they have a free man coming down the weak side of the pool.
Berkeley on the counterattack.
Barnhart moves in, and a backhand scores up. A tremendous little windmill move. He pivoted off Frank Schneider at 2 meters and put the ball right past Larry Burcutt's ear for Cal's 3rd goal.
That's his bread and butter shot, Chris. I think we're going to see that shot throughout the whole game.
Well, he's already scored 2 in the first quarter here, and Stanford's going to have to combat this with some tighter defense, or it's going to be a long, long evening for Dante Denamani and his team.
Less than 4 minutes to go in the first. We have a score of 3-1. Cal leads it.
That's freshman Leachman putting the ball into Schneider at 2 meters. Schneider looks a little nervous. His first couple of passes have gone either way long or way short. He's got to settle down. I'm sure he will.
Craig, maybe you can set up this play from the goalie's perspective.
Well, basically right now I'd be worried about the whole position. It looks like Cal is pressing out on the perimeter, therefore there's not going to be any shots coming from there. I'd put all my concentration on the whole position, be ready for the shot coming from there.
There's an awful lot of action there. There's Schneider with the ball, but Cal double teaming. That's Chris Oding coming down to steal the ball for the Bears.
And the whole position, for the people who don't know it, is the position in front of the net.
Right,
Thank you very much.
That's the low post. Zian with the ball coming down the right wing with Stryker. And look at Oding. Oding with his drive from 8 meters. Going down to set, he almost had a free shot there.
Oding's been making things happen, Chris, all tournament. He's driving down all the way in front of the goal. A lot of times they catch him with a pass, but otherwise he's just keeping the motion going.
That's Dirk Zian setting for the Bears. And Stanford doing everything they can to double down on him. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 4, 3, shot from outside, smothered by Larry Burkett. That was Oding taking the shot. Burkett with a great save.
I think Burkett remembers the last shot that Oding scored on him. Shot to the upper right-hand corner, and Burkett was ready for this one.
Stanford on the counterattack.
Chris, are you surprised by now the score 3-1 early on?
Not surprising. Both these teams have some pretty significant firepower, and there's just an awful lot of swimming from one end to the other. Expect to see more of this as the game goes on. Pass from Schneider outside.
Great shot, great shot.
Great shot from J.T. Matarangas. He picked the ball up, reared back, and threw it into the top left corner. This is not going to be a low-scoring game, gentlemen.
The score right now, 3-2. The Bears have the lead with 2:24 to go in the first quarter of the water polo finals of NCAA at Belmont Plaza.
And a big switch here for Stanford. Number 2, their leading scorer all year. A gentleman we haven't seen at all this tournament, Wolf Weigo, the sophomore. He had a very, very bad back. Actually, they thought it was some disc problems, but he's in the game right now. This should provide the emotional young Cardinal with a lift.
Again, Cal in the blue caps and Stanford in the white caps. They have the lead 3-2.
Foul of 2 meters. That's number 6, Barnhart, setting. He's had a couple of goals out of the 2-meter spot. Stanford electing to press and not drop back on Barnhart, even though he scored a couple. That's Stryker faking the ball, right side. Passes to the center. Oding on the give and go. But Stanford recovers nicely. Cross pass over Oding with a shot. And blocked again by Larry Burkett, his 3rd save of the game.
I think we're going to see that a lot throughout the game. When the ball gets thrown into the 2-meter position, Oding's going to drive and go for the quick passing shot.
That was a great cross pass. He's guarded by a freshman, too. The pass inside on the counterattack at the other end. A little bit long for Wolf Weigo, and it's stolen by the Bears. Nolan picking the ball up. Again, UC Berkeley coming down with a counterattack of their own. They've got 3-on-2, a 4-on-3 developing. The trailer is Stryker. With the ball is Barnhart. And a short pass inside is stolen by Stanford. Antonio Busquets, the first time we've heard his name this evening.
Inside a minute and a half left in the first quarter, 3-2. The Bears have the edge by 1.
And I'm not sure how these two teams can keep playing at this pace. It's been end-to-end transition, end-to-end hard counterattacks. Weigo with the ball. Setting is Smith at 2 meters. Weigo shooting.
They're going to test Weigo right away. See how that back is feeling.
It didn't look like there was any problem with his back that time. I didn't see him wince. He put a lot of heat on it. The ball came off his hand nicely.
He's already brought some inspiration to the team. The first time down, he had the ball in front of the goal, missed it, but he's already got that team uplifted.
Well, it's good to see he's not afraid to shoot. That's number 7, Arroyo, setting is Zian, and Stanford camping Smith out in front of him. Barnhart.
Stanford's back in a full zone. They don't want Dirk to get the ball.
Over Stryker, and the ball does go into Zirk. The Dirk Zian, the overpass apparently stolen, but the foul's calling. Zian's ball inside.
The 2-meter position that we're describing where Dirk Zian is basically the same as the center in basketball. Try to get it to the center, see if you can turn around and score.
Oding another give and go. The ball's out to Arroyo. Arroyo with great legs and a nice shot off the top bar.
Inside 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter. We'll see if the Bears can tie it up to make it 3-3.
Here's the freshman. That's Jeremy Laster. Wolf Weigo, the sophomore. And he tries a spin move. The ball goes straight to Stryker. Stolen by the Bears.
That might have had something to do with his back, too.
Well, it didn't look like he saw the man over there. Again, the Bears on a slow counter coming the other way. Zian cross court. Coming down the middle is Barnhart. Barnhart working Weigo.
They're going to pass to Zian quickly. Push off. No.
3 seconds.
Zian at 2 meters. A shot blocked by Burkett. And at the end of the first quarter, it's Cal 3, Stanford 2.
And we'll be back with more of NCAA water polo right after this. 3-2, Cal leads it. So the score 3-2 as we get ready to start the second quarter. Gentlemen, are you surprised that this is a scoring affair where only 1 goal separates these two great teams?
No, I think it's going to go down to the fourth quarter. Again, I really believe that Cal's going to wear out Stanford, but they're showing a lot of character out here. Listen, we have 10 blocks by the goalie from the Cal team. Excuse me, I'd like to take that back. We have 10 shots taken by Cal, out-shooting Stanford by four shots.
Well, it's real clear there was an awful lot of activity that first quarter of play. And the first couple of minutes, it looked like both teams were a little tight, a little tentative. But, boy, once they got cranked up, it was a lot of white water going back and forth. A lot of transition play. a lot of great passing and great shooting, and frankly, it's about as close a game as we've seen here in the finals in the last couple of years.
Wolf Weigo coming in the game for Stanford. Do you think that he'll play sparingly tonight, or do you think he'll test that back and hopefully stay in there for the Cardinal?
Well, it looked to me beforehand when they were warming up that he experienced some pain in it. I don't know what he did in the last 15 minutes, but after he took that one shot from the outside, it was a good 8 to 10 meters in the air. He threw it with authority. It came off his hand very quickly, and I didn't see him wince at all. He's already been tested. He's put the ball up with a lot of heat on it. And if he can stay in the game, it looks like he's not going to start the second quarter.
That's right.
But if he can stay in the game and provide that offensive spark that Stanford needs, again, they could stay close throughout the rest of the game.
And to set up the second quarter, both teams switch goals, so Cal in the blue caps will be going from left to right and vice versa for the Cardinal team.
Craig, what would you tell the team here at between the first and second quarters if you were Steve Heaston? What do you say?
I would say keep going. They're doing a great job out there. They're getting the ball to the right people. They're swimming hard. They're making some smart moves. I wouldn't change a thing.
And you see the center sprint right here, dropped by the referee.
Here to sprint, it's Barnes for the Bears and JT Matarangas, both number 4. JT wins the sprint for the Cardinal, picked up by Josh Leachman. Leachman getting a lot of playing time here. He's just a freshman, number 7.
Yeah, freshman from Davis, California. I'm glad to see it. Being Davis being my hometown too. Glad to see him out there.
Setting for Stanford is Chip Blankenhorn. Blankenhorn, a jack of all trades for this Stanford team, and the collapsing defense of the Bears stealing the ball for Cal. Looks like they got a free man on the other side of the pool too. It's Barnes on the wing. He's got to get the ball over to Barnhart, and great reaction time by Busquets shuts that down for Stanford. Again, Barnhart at 2 meters. He's already scored 2 goals already this game. Looks like Stanford's starting to drop back in on him now too.
Well, I think the Cardinals have a tremendous amount of respect for the 2 hole men, the 2 center position men from the Cal Bears. Well, they're going to basically force them to shoot from the outside.
Shot clock down to 9. Cross pass in front of the goal mouth, shut down nicely by Wallen. Sorry, that was Matarangas back into 2 meters, and Zian's all alone at 6 meters with a shot. It's wide. Stanford recovers.
He rarely misses that shot, Chris. Normally that's going in a high corner.
Now, can we call that a goalie save, Craig?
No, can't call that one a goalie save.
And great pass from Burkett all the way down to number 5, Blankenhorn. Blankenhorn with a shot. Tries the lob, doesn't go, but on the weak side, it's number 12, Chris Smith, who puts it away.
Give that goal. Give that goal to the goalie.
Smith and Blankenhorn, the 2 seniors on the Stanford squad. Blankenhorn, knowing the lob is the best shot in that situation, but he put it over there because Smith was coming in near side, and he knew if it did come off the top bar, which it did, Smith would be there to knock it in, and he did. What a great move.
The score, 3-3, 6:06 left here in the second quarter. We're all tied up at the Belmont Plaza NCAA Water Polo Finals. A great matchup here.
Well, there's an awful lot of water polo action here, a little bit for everybody. It's a little cat and mouse game. You know, defensively, sometimes the teams are dropping back, sometimes they're pressing, but it's just some great action.
What a pressure pass by Burke at that time, Chris. I was impressed. 20 meters, right on the nose. That's what set up the play.
I tell you, he made a great save, but there's Barnhart at 2 meters for the Bears. Again, he scored a couple. Stanford doesn't seem to be falling back on him, but great fronting by Matarangas for the Stanford defense. Weldon with the ball, over to Zian. Zian back to Weldon. There's Barnhart in at 2 meters. And Matarangas is ejected. He was obviously hanging on at dead time there, so that's his second personal foul. You can only have 3, and then you're gone for the game. And with 5 minutes, 48 seconds left in the first half, a timeout is called.
Let's take a look at the first quarter stats, Chris and Craig, and I think you guys will be surprised by this. Just a little bit, you'll see the shots by the California team. They had 10 shots in this contest as you go all the way down to the bottom. Let's start at the top. The saves, 4 for Stanford and only 1 for Cal. 2 goals in the first quarter for Stanford, 3 goals for Cal. Man advantage, 1 for 1 each team. And shots on goal, Stanford just had 4 shots, but they scored twice in that first quarter. Cal, having 10 shots, only scored 3 times. A great credit to the goalie for Stanford.
Absolutely. Burkett is starting up where he left off yesterday against USC. He had a tremendous game, probably the game of his life against the Trojans. If he plays as well today, Stanford will come very, very close to winning, if not win it outright. The other good thing that we note from those stats is that Stanford has had trouble putting the ball into the goal this year. Doesn't matter how many shots they take, but they've got to convert or else they're going to be in big trouble. They've had the opportunities, they just haven't been able to close them out.
And maybe you gentlemen can allude to the shot clock, similar to that in basketball. Tell us about the shot clock here in water polo.
Well, there's 35 seconds allowed each possession to shoot the ball. By the time the team gets down and sets up their offense, they're going to have about 20 seconds. They'll pass the ball around, try to get into the center, and then if he can get the shot, they will. Otherwise, it'll be kicked out to the outside, and they'll try the shot. So very similar to basketball.
So Cal here with a 6-on-5 situation. They'll put the ball into play from the mouth of their goal. Their brilliant sophomore goalie, Sean Nolan, will pass it out. Zian and Oding, probably two of the best shooters in college water polo, are on the top. That's going to pose some problems for Stanford. Now it looks like they go into the same defensive alignment they had before. They're going to give the shot to that man right there, Stryker, who's a right-hander playing a normally left-handed position. Great passing by the Bears, too, Craig.
I'd like to see the Cal get up a little bit higher, just like Dirk did there.
Oh, my God. What a shot. Zian on his own picks the ball up, fakes once, and fires it past Larry Burkett. That had a lot of heat on it, Craig.
He didn't try and disguise that at all. That was pure. That was what we call pure heat.
Craig, why did it look like he scored so easily? It just be the velocity of the ball, or he just pinpointed at the right part of the goal?
I'd have to say it's pure velocity. He got his legs underneath, he got his suit out of the water, and he pushed it in the near corner.
Zian also has a real deceptive fake, too, so that had to have frozen Larry Burkett a little bit. 4-3 Cal over Stanford here, middle of the second quarter. Setting for Stanford is Schneider, number 10. He's that sophomore who's been injured. Wolf Weigo, number 2, with a tremendous shot from 8 meters. It goes wide of the goal, but again, it doesn't look like that injury is bothering him at all. Cal on the counterattack, though. It looks like they've broken Schneider out of the back court. If they can get the ball to some people, they'll have some free men. Like right there, there's Stryker free. Gavin Arroyo free in front of the cage.
Watch Barnhart.
Troy Barnhart on the inside water with a shot cross cage that scores.
Scoring 5-3 now at the 5:06 mark here in the second quarter. It looks like Cal's starting to stretch it out a little bit. Score 5-3, and it looks like the Cal team is starting to stretch their lead little by little.
Third goal by Troy Barnhart. Boy, I tell you, the Cal Bears, when that team gets close to them, they just seem to find a goal here and there.
Well, with the score of 5-3, we'll step aside. The NCAA Water Polo Finals from Belmont Plaza. Plaza, the score 5-3. The Cal Bears lead it here in the second quarter. Just about 5:06 left to go in the first half.
And a tremendous job on that last goal by number 6, Troy Barnhart. Already, he has 3 goals, as many goals as the entire Stanford team has. He sustained his counterattack real well. He was about the 4th person down, but he kept Busquets on his back long enough to have inside water, push away from him, and score the goal. Great effort on his part.
And like you mentioned, Chris, it looked like Wolf Weigo is doing okay with his back.
He looks like he feels pretty good. It looks like that Schneider feels pretty good, too. He had a nice little turnaround shot that happened to go off the bar, and that's exactly what Stanford does not need. They need to convert those. Once again, here's Oding. He's free. Oding getting the... Oh, wonderful pass over to Zian. Back into Oding. The goal is free. It looked like a 2-on nobody there. Zian to Oding for the score.
It doesn't get any better than that. The score is 6-3 right now. The Cal Bears starting to pick up where they left off in the semifinal game.
This is exactly what Dante Dedamonte feared. He said, we've played close to Cal for 3 quarters every game, but there's always a point at which, for 4 or 5 minutes, they go on a scoring spree, and this looks like it's the scoring spree that he was talking about. Craig?
I think Magic Johnson would have appreciated that pass by Chris Oding. He could have easily shot it, but he decided to go for the flare pass over to Dirk Zian, and Dirk found Mr. Oding back in front of the cage again for the easy goal. What a great play.
What that did was move the goalie back and forth. Stanford's got to recover here, and they've got to put some points on the board, or it's going to be a very long evening.
Kind of had the feeling that the shots would go for the Cal Bears, as they have 10 shots in the first quarter.
Schneider at 2 meters. Turns around. A weak shot. Looked like he was clipped from behind. Nolan picks it up, and once again, the Bears are off to the races.
Arroyo's putting some great pressure in the hole there. I'm really impressed by that.
Well, now look at the Bear counterattack. They don't have any men springing free, except Barnhart here off the side. Stanford obviously getting caught up. Corrects that. That's Ricardo Sade. Ricardo puts the lob shot up and over the goal, so Stanford recovers. But again, everybody on the Berkeley team was flying down. There was a lot of white water out in the middle of the pool. And boy, I can imagine these guys are going to be a little tired at the end of the game. Overpass, trying to get the ball into JT Matarangas, and Nolan steals it.
Well, Cal's just playing a little bit sharper, Chris. You can see the difference in the passes. That pass right there was well stolen by the goalie, but it really shouldn't have happened. That steal did not need to happen.
And maybe that has something to do with their maturity, with the fact they've been here before. They're a bigger, older team, and it looks like it's starting to tell right here. Zian at 2 meters for Berkeley, and oh, what a great turnaround shot! Zian with 2 people on him. We couldn't even see his head. He still had the ball in his hand, out of the water, and he skips it under Larry Burkhead. It looks like the dam has broken for the UC Berkeley Bears.
And the score is 7-3. 3:35 to go in the first half. And Craig, alluding to the fact of law of percentages in this game, we saw in the first quarter that Cal had 10 shots. They scored 3 times. Did you expect that stat would catch up to them after a while and they would start making those goals that they shot?
Cal just has too much precision shooting. They missed a few in the first quarter, but eventually they're going to go in, as we're seeing now. They're just putting the heat on Stanford right now.
And we had a little problem there. We tried to line up at halfway, but they needed the ball.
I think they're trying to submarine play, Chris. They're going to try anything right now.
The old hidden ball trick. Stanford has got to recover here. They've got to put a couple of points on the board and shut down Cal. They haven't done that yet this quarter. 3.5 minutes left, halfway through the second quarter. And Cal, with a 7-3 lead, looks like they've got this game in hand. Stanford has to do something. Schneider, once again, he's had a couple of shots out of 2 meters, but they haven't been strong shots, and they certainly haven't gone.
I think that's a credit to the pressure defense. Look at Arroyo. He's staying away from him, but he's got his hand planted on his back right now.
Schneider again at 2 meters with a ball turnaround.
No score.
But they called a foul before he got the shot off. Stanford 11 seconds on the shot clock. Not too many people here in the stands like that call.
3:12 to go.
And an ejection. It was Stryker called for holding at dead time. Stanford with a 6-on-5 opportunity. And a quick shot. That was a quick shot from number 14, freshman Jeremy Laster, that was knocked out of the pool. And so they'll have another 35 seconds on the shot clock, and they'll continue their 6-on-5.
Credit to Jeff Weldon for that. He had his arm up in perfect position, blocked the ball for the goalies. They're making the goalies' job easy out there. The Cal defense is strong and tough.
Inside to Stanford, that's number 9, with an attempt to turn around backhand. Nothing there. Blocked nicely by Nolan. Chris Wallen tried a backhand because it was a bad pass into him on the inside, and it was shut down nicely. Nolan held his position well, knocked it down, and controlled it. Cal here, there's Stryker with the ball on a counterattack. And this could get ugly for Stanford if Cal could score right here.
Chris, how much is too much?
It's almost too much right now. It's a 4-goal difference. Barnhart at 2 meters with a backhand off the top bar. Look at that. Barnhart's already scored 3 goals yet this game. It's not even halftime. And that one could just as easily have gone. But maybe that's the break Stanford needed. Here's JT Matarangas coming down the right side. Stanford with a free man inside. That's Wallen. Wallen has to slow up, though. Great defense by Cal. Once again, Schneider going to 2 meters. Schneider playing that post. He can't do this the whole game. He's got to get a rest here at some point, but Dante's keeping him in there. Schneider taking the ball inside. He's fouled.
The score is 7-3 with 2:14 to go here in the first half.
Schneider over to Matarangas.
But Cal just isn't letting up. 4-goal lead. Normally a team will slow down, rest up a little bit, but Cal's keeping the pressure on.
Well, this is the collegiate championships here. I don't think they think they've got the game won at all. There's Schneider inside. Oh, and he's called for pushing off, so Cal gets the ball. Nolan putting the ball into play for the Bears.
Looks like the referee saw Schneider make a push-off. I don't know, tough call.
That was pretty clear. It looked like he had his left arm up and around the defender's neck somehow. Cal once again on a counterattack. There's
inside 2 minutes.
And Cal setting it up real slowly, taking a breather here. That's Ricardo Sade at 2 meters. They don't really have a 2-meter man. There's Oding driving. They're going to get a pass to Oding. And he's always good for a shot inside there. Great hands on the crossover drive there, Craig.
We're going to see that the whole game. Oding is going to create something. He's always going to be moving.
7 seconds on the shot clock. There's Stryker at 2 meters to Oding. Back into Stryker. Stryker turns around and shoots. Blocked by Burkett. Stanford on a counterattack, but it looks like some of the air's gone out of their sails. Nobody coming free. That's Smith on the wing.
That's got to be the fatigue factor setting in, Chris.
Well, it's just halftime. Imagine what it's be like in the fourth quarter. Foul inside. Frank Schneider once again. And that's number 3, Brian Clemens, working the inside water to get one of the Cal Bears ejected. Shot from JT Matarangas, blocked out of the pool. And Craig, you see a lot of the shots from Stanford being blocked by the defense, not by the goalie.
That's a tribute to very, very good team defense. The defensive players are trying to block the posts and leave the goalie the center shot.
Stanford working the 6-on-5. Looks like they're bringing Leachman out into a 3-3. Into Chris Smith. Smith takes a shot. It's blocked by Nolan. Nolan hits it. It goes off the bar. Stanford can't buy a goal here in the second quarter.
Inside 1 minute to play here in the first half. The score is 7-3. The Cal leads it.
I think it's a tribute to Cal's defense. They're allowing a shot, but they're always giving the bad angle.
That's right. There's Arroyo with the ball inside. Fouls on Stryker. Barnhart's in there. Look, they're all lined up about 5 meters. They're all eager to get down at 2 meters and set up. It looks like they want to score.
Everybody wants a goal now.
You got it. They've got to balance out better if they want to protect against that counterattack coming back, and here they do. Oding at 2 meters, being guarded by Frank Schneider. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and Cal throws it away. Stanford recovers. Great defense finally there for the Cardinal.
That's the first time this game that Cal actually hasn't gotten a very good offensive series off, Chris.
Well, that could mean something, or it could be just they're not, they're tired of throwing the ball.
They've been going hard for 2 quarters now.
That's right. There's Laster with the ball, the freshman left-hander. Inside, a lob shot attempted. That was Brian Clemens. The shot going high off the top bar. Once again, Nolan picking up the ball.
15 seconds to go here in the first half. Stanford's had the man advantage 3 times. They have not scored any one of those times. 1 man up.
And they haven't been the strongest shots. Here's Stryker trying to get something in with less than 10 seconds. Going over to Oding. I wouldn't want Oding shooting the ball right here. But a nice block by Burkett.
And that throw there will wrap it up for the first half. The first half comes to an end. The Cal Bears could be on their way to another NCAA championship. The score is 7-3 at halftime. We'll have more in just a moment. Hello everyone and welcome back to the NCAA 1992 Water Polo Finals. Joining me at halftime is Ted Leland. He's the chairman of the Water Polo Committee and also the athletic director of Stanford University. First of all, Ted, I want to congratulate the Stanford Cardinals to making it to the NCAA Finals, the NCAA Finals. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's a real thrill for our athletes. You know, serving as chairman of the committee, there's always kind of on-campus subtle pressure to make sure our team makes it, and last year, in fact, we didn't, after having made it, I think, for 7 years in a row. So our athletes are real excited about being here.
Give me an idea about the myth about water polo being in trouble financially.
Well, I think that the NCAA has some regulations about the number of schools that must sponsor a sport before we can offer a championship. And so we've been going through the usual political battles. We have 47 schools that sponsor water polo nationally, and we feel like the championship's going to go on and on forever. There's been some press reports to the contrary, but we feel the championship's real strong, and we're waging political battles just like every other sport.
How has the high school level benefited the NCAA over the last couple of years? I know the NCAA level is getting a lot of kids from high school. A lot more scholarships are going out, and it seems like the sport is getting stronger on the lower levels.
Well, sure. The junior programs feed the high school programs. The high school programs feed the college programs, and we, of course, feed the national team and the junior national team in sports. And the whole thing's gaining momentum. We're recording record numbers of junior water polo players, high school water polo players. Heck, we're even getting very involved in women's water polo, which is a great sport and something that's going to be big in the future. So the sport of water polo is very strong in this country, and the numbers of participants is growing.
Well, we want to congratulate you on both of your head titles with Stanford and also the chairman of the Water Polo Committee. You do a great job, and thanks for stopping by with us at halftime.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
All right, when we come back, we will have the second half sprint, Cal, and also the Stanford Cardinals in halftime. We'll be back with that right after this.
They're forcing the ball to be shot from what we call the bad angle, which is the side of the goal where the right-handers have a very difficult time putting it in. And until Stanford can actually get some good angled shots, it's going to be a long second half for them, Chris.
Stanford came into this game with a 22-5 record, and of course Cal came into this contest undefeated at 30-0.
Well, the game's not over yet. That's Busquets sprinting for Stanford. Number 4, Tony Barnes, winning the sprint for Cal. And we'll see.